Good, good. Obviously, when we have this type of interactions, we know about each other's culture. So, that's really nice. So, good. So, should I? I think I should then start the class. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Zanmami, you are also doing well. Okay. I'll just a minute. Yes. So yesterday, my discussion was about on tourism. That is basically, understanding tourism, which covered, unit 1 and 2 covered about fundamentals of tourism, like what is tourism all about, what are the different types of tourism, components of tourism. So today, I'll be covering on Unit 3, Unit 4, and Unit 5. Unit 3 is all about historical evolution and development. And yesterday, I was showing you the slides. I also, explained about how tourism evolved, like ancient, medieval, and modern era. Then, so today also we'll be discussing on that. Then we have Unit 4, that is about the tourism systems, and last the Unit 5 about the tourism constituents. Okay. So, about the historical evolution and development, history, like basically, history is very essential. To understand history, it is very essential because, the present has evolved out of it. So, you need to know history is all about past. So, basically, you have to understand about the past, and it is very essential because you have to find out how the present has evolved out of it, so for a better future, so we need to analyze the past carefully. So basically, when we talk about tourism, there are different views, different methods and trends that were being followed in history, writing right from the olden days. So this concept of tourism, when we are talking about tourism, the concept of tourism, it can be traced back to ancient times. So with evidence, we have a lot of evidence when we see people traveling from one place to another destination. The reasons may be for leisure purpose, for maybe for cultural exchange, dating back to the Roman Empire and ancient China also. However, coming to the modern tourism, as we know, it began to emerge in the 17th century, that I have mentioned yesterday, with the rise of the Grand Tour. And basically, it is a Grand Tour, which I'll be also showing some slides are there on Grand Tour. So, a Grand Tour, which is basically a traditional trip through Europe, that is usually taken by the elite class of people to complete their education. So it was mainly by the elite class of people, that is the Europeans, people from London, especially from London and all, and they were, the youngsters, they for the education, they travel to different places, and so that is how that Grand Tour came into effect. Now, so this marked the beginning of leisure travel for pleasure as well as cultural enrichment. Now, then there was the industrial revolution that was in the 19th century, and which brought a significant change in like in the transportation, as well as the infrastructure development. And so in that way, the making travel more accessible to the general, to the normal population, to the general population. So this resulted in development of infrastructure, plus accommodation sectors like seaside resorts. Then we had other leisure destinations, particularly in the Europe and North America. Now, the 20th century, they saw a very rapid expansion and rapid expansion of tourism, which was basically driven by factors, because the word tourism itself, I mean, indicates a driver for growth. So this 20th century, we saw a rapid expansion of tourism, which was basically driven by factors such as increased disposable income. People began to travel to various destinations, not only for business purposes but for leisure, for holiday. Okay, so obviously this possible only because of disposable income. Then there was, I mean, improved transportation. Earlier there were the transportation was by road or by rail. So moving from one place, like if you wanted to visit a place, a destination, it might have taken a night, 12 hours journey from one destination to another destination, if you are traveling by road or rails. But now, within just 2 hours, you can cover the distance with the help of the airlines. So that is how the transportation there was an improvement in transportation. There was an advancement in technology. You did not have to go to the travel agent always, or you have to stand in the queue at the airport or the railway station to get your tickets done. With the help of a mouse, you can book your tickets. So that is all advance in technology. So this development of mass tourism, and especially customized package holidays, or packaged or customized package holidays, this made travel more affordable and accessible to a larger segment of the population. However, in the recent decades, there has been a shift from towards sustainable and responsible tourism. As I was telling, now the word sustainability is always a very hot discussion, whether in terms of food, or whether in terms of place, or whether in terms of tourism, because we need to protect, we need to safeguard our environment. That is very important. We have to safeguard, we have to protect, we have to conserve the flora, the fauna of a particular destination, the environment. That is why has become a hot discussion. So that is why everybody, especially when we look from the tourism point of view, we have decided, people have decided that we need to shift towards a sustainable tourism, also known as responsible tourism. So the main, I mean, with the emphasis on preserving the natural heritage, the cultural heritage. Then in due course also promoting your community based tourism, and which would result in minimizing the environmental impact of travel. So this has led to the rise of, as we also discussed yesterday, now you will find ecotourism. There are a lot of ecotourist destinations in the country. So this led to the rise of ecotourism. Then we have adventure tourism, then cultural tourism as very popular forms of travel. So, however, the evolution of tourism has also been influenced by your geopolitical events. Then you come to economic trends and changing consumer preferences, because there are a lot of options now. So, as per the consumers requirement, as per the travelers requirement, they have lot of options open for them. So now there's a change in consumer preferences. So especially the rise of this digital technology, then social media handles, they have further transformed the way people plan and experience their travels. Because whenever you wanted to visit a destination as such, you can see the videos of that particular destination. Then what are the near about localities, I mean local sightseeing destinations near that particular area. Then what is the mode of travel, what is the accommodation status over there, how are the room rates, Not only that, you can also see the reviews, given by different customers. So this has become so easily, so one can easily, have a little bit knowledge, so they can easily make their bookings on their own. They need not take the assistance of the travel agent. So this have even we can also, this virtual tours, you can also go for a virtual tour, so you have an idea how the destination would be. So these has become very increasingly popular. So overall we can say that tourism has evolved from a luxury activity for the elite to a mass market industry, and which has a very profound impact on the economies. Obviously when there are a lot of traveler visiting a particular country, so there will be an increase in the economy of the country. That is the reason we say that tourism, it not only increases the economic status of a country, but at also at the same time the infrastructure development of a place. So there's a profound impact on the infrastructure, on the economies, the cultures, the environment. And as we look towards the future, as I have already mentioned, as you'll always see the word sustainable comes everywhere. So sustainable and responsible tourism will obviously continue to shape the industry, shape the industry as travelers seek authentic experiences that would benefit both the destination and the local communities. Okay, so yes, we have to do a lot of analysis of history of tourism. One sec, 1 minute. Hello. Okay, so yet what I was saying, there should be a careful analysis of history of tourism. We need to analyze the history of tourism because it would help us to identify the sources of data and use of both written and oral history. Now, all these informations we have got, as I have mentioned, as I have explained, this is all from the different various datas. When we talk about data, there are primary data as well as the secondary data. So through the history of tourism, we could evaluate the process, how whether we have really improved or there is a downfall. So through, it is very neat that there should be a essential, there should be, we need to develop the theoretical framework on within which the data of tourism can be verified, right? 1 minute, huh? Just give me 2 minutes. हाँ सर बोलिए. गुड आफ्टरनून. ମୁଁ ତ କଲେଜରେ ଅଛି. ହଁ ମୁଁ ଲଞ୍ଚ ମୁଁ ତାହେଲେ ଆସିବି ଇଭିନିଂ ଟାଇମ୍ ଆସିଯିବି ଆଉ କ'ଣ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି. ଓକେ. ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଁ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି. ମୁଁ ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ହଁ 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 ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ହଁ ହଁ ମୁଁ ଇଭିନିଂ ନା ମୁଁ ତାର ସହିତ କଥା ବି ହୋଇଥିଲି କାଲି ଫୁଡ୍ ବିଷୟ. ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଇଭିନିଂ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ଯିବି ଆଉ କ'ଣ ସେପଟେ ହଷ୍ଟେଲରେ ଯିବି ଆଉ କ'ଣ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଫୋନ୍ କରିବି ସେଇ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି. ଟିକେ ଦେଖିଦେବି. ହଁ 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 ନା 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 ସିଓର ସିଓର ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି. ଓକେ. ଏବେ ଟିକେ ମୁଁ ବ୍ୟସ୍ତ ଅଛି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନେଉଛି ତ ସେଇ ପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ହଁ ମୁଁ ଯିବି ନିଶ୍ଚୟ. ହଁ ହଁ ସିଓର ସିଓର ହଁ ଓକେ. So why it is very, so when we talk about the sources of data, there is various datas, sources for history of tourism, which are as follows. There are different literary records, then there are inscriptions, then especially when we talk about inscriptions, they are the writings which have been that are engraved on hard surfaces. So we come to know all this from different inscriptions. And there are graffiti, those are basically the writings or drawings that has been scribbled, scratched on the wall. Then there is the papyrus receipts. Receipts are basically those receipts from where you could come to find out the purchase of various things, like purchase of your different cattle or different small artifacts and all. through these receipts also we could find out the sources. Okay, I mean they were also I mean sources of data. From those all these receipts we could come to know what were the people, I mean in those time they are dwelling on, what were they purchasing, what was their food habits. So that is all about. Then you we also had sills also. Then we do have the archaeological evidence which included painted pottery. Then there were diplomatic records. Then there were the archives, both private as well as the public, as oral history and folk culture, both traditional and personal. So through the statistical records, prior to 1920, database for travel was constructed from basically the railway records, postal authorities, and from passport and visa authorities. So we could easily find out, reconstruct the volume of people who travel, then identify the time of the year they travel, and find the places they visited. Even now, whenever any visitors, foreign visitors, I mean, they are visiting India. We have all the data, when they are, I mean, right from, I mean, from immigration at the airport to entering, I mean, the hotel, their passport is being required. Then the C form is being prepared, which is being sent to the FRRO office, that is Foreigners Regional Registration Office. So this documentation is being, I mean, it keeps on going. So we can we have an I mean we have a exact record how many foreigners are visiting our country, how many are from European countries, how many are from African countries, Asian countries. So we have all this data. Okay, and we also come to know what is, I mean, what is the age group, I mean the demographic profiles, I mean to say. We could easily find out the demographic profiles, and usually at what time of the year they travel at visit, and so on. So, first Britain began to collect tourism statistics. That was in the year 1921. And by 1945, all countries started collecting data. So, earlier 42 definition of tourism was used, as a result of which, though data collected were of high standard, the reliability is often being questioned. Like yesterday, I have given you some definitions about what is tourism is all about, and only the lot of definitions. But the generic term is basically, like traveling to a destination, then basically not for the purpose of earning money as such, but yes, then again returning back to your residence. So there were other secondary sources also. Like secondary sources were basically like the newspapers, the journals. Then we have these books, then we have those magazines, then academic documents. So all these resources basically helped in designing the itineraries, identifying important events, and understanding holiday patterns. Slowly and slowly, as we have to prepare the framework. That is what was necessary. Then these are the six periods, periodization and concepts. That is the six periods in the history of tourism. Like with the passage of time, the class of people involved in tourism have changed. We have the ancient era, we have the imperial era, we have the pilgrimage era, the grand tour era, the transition era, and the modern era. So and of course some concepts were very important, because they are the one which influence people, the reason behind the travel. So they were the motivational factors, they were holidaying. Then there's a mode of travel is also included in, and the tourism impacts. So, motivation basically, the value of new experience and the transformation of travel from survival to an improvement in the quality of life. So, why people travel? So that were the motivational factors. Curiosity, for for education purpose, for your I mean climatic, because of the for your educational purpose, for your medical purpose, for business trips. So these were the motivation factors. Then and of course when we are talking about holiday, it has two sources. One is the religious and another is the secular. So religious, in Europe, day was set aside at the end of a work cycle for religious rituals, and this day was called a holiday. Basically, holiday means, we do have, after working for 6 days, after working for 5 days, we get to holidays. But we also get holidays during any special events, or when a country is celebrating, or when the state is celebrating some events or cultural, religious festivals and all. Okay. So in time sense day, that was, in the European countries, in time cent days and certain other observance were added to the number of holidays when no work was done and everyone celebrated. No work was done means, of course we have to do a regular work, but yes, everybody has some other work, like job, sustaining their lives. They have some, they were involved in other jobs. So from those, there was holiday, I mean, they were, that day there was no work as such. Then comes the secular. So the secular tradition was a part of the imperial system, when the state granted public holidays to celebrate imperial glory. So on these holidays, no work was done, and usually what happened, the people participated in feasting and fun. Like, as I told you, during this during this events, like, festivals and all, they participated in all these celebrations. Then they, the cuisine was also of a different style. It was a elaborate cuisine was made, and there was fun, there was frolic, so everything, because they, I mean, they wanted to enjoy the day. So that is what they did. So public games and spectator sports were the highlights on such occasions. Even you'll find, during those celebrations, you'll find a lot of events, like, there are sports or other spectacular events, dance, drama, art, culture, all these festivals keep on going. So in time, the religious and secular combined, and the day of the rest became a part of all societies. So there comes periodization and concept. So what was the mode of travel? So, that was, like, people used to travel by road, by rails, but later on it was through air. I mean, the network also increased also, and there were different vehicles coming to the market. Cost of travel also increased, and there was documentation and safe passage, because documentation was also very necessary. Because whenever, suppose if you wanted to make a ticket for, I mean, you wanted to fly, so you have to give all your details, your name, your contact number, your age, your gender, and all this. So this was basically required for the documentation and safe travel. Then there were always, tourism always have positive impacts as well as negative impacts. So the influence of tourism was not only on the lifestyle of the people, but also in bringing about changes in the consumption, as well as the production, as well as the wealth. Now, coming to the ancient period, when we talk about the ancient period, there were difficult and dangerous overlands and sea journeys were taken. Usually, people used to travel. Yes, I forgot to say, people used to not only travel by rail transport or roadways, but yes, there were also seaways. They used to travel by, ships. That is how the marine, culture came into existence. People used to travel. They used to, for their trade and business purposes, they used to travel from one country to the another by boats or ships and all. Okay. So non-availability of wayside facilities made journeys very costly. Now, yesterday I told you about these motels. What are motels? Motels are basically, they are situated, I mean, they are basically accommodation sectors. They are part of the accommodation sectors which are located near the highways. So people traveling by roads, they can take rest, they can have some food, and again start for their travel. But earlier days, those motels were not there. So now motels are there. So there was non-availability of wayside facilities, and specific paths and routes were developed and used by the traders for the business purposes, as well as the pilgrims who was, when they were moving to different places, for the purpose of, people were visiting Jerusalem, people were visiting Mecca for the pilgrimage. They were pilgrims. So there were development of specialized vehicles also for travel over land and on water. And, of course, there was a network also. Travel followed networks, then slowly resting places and food sources were also provided along these routes. So commercial centers also came into existence. It is not only the food. Sometimes you may require commercial centers, you may require, like your stationary items or something. So that is the reason how commercial systems, commercial centers also came into existence. So as frequency of travel increased, there were wagons for goods and chariots for passengers were introduced, and more travel resulted in knowledge of wealth at distant places. So it was very necessary to travel. It has been said, you need to travel because the world is a book, and those who does not travel, they just read only one page of the book. So it is very essential that you should travel. Okay. So early empires, now talking about the early empires, there was the Egyptian civilization, like where both men and women, they enjoy traveling to places. On arrival at destinations, there was a celebrity feast. Then there was a Thanksgiving ceremony. In India, we don't have this Thanksgiving ceremony as such, but yes, we have other festivals also where we have exchange of sweets, exchange of not only sweets, it's exchange of dresses and all, jewelries and all. Okay, exchange of jewelries, exchange of outfits like dresses, then exchange of sweets and all. But in US, they for them, Thanksgiving ceremony is celebrated in a big way. Okay. So people also came to know. I mean, there was usually 12 months in a year. Now they they came to know they could excuse me, they could identify what is the tourist season. So that was usually from April to November, when people travel long distances to see the glorious monuments of Egypt, especially the monuments of Egypt. Then they return with souvenirs to show their friends at home. There you have artifacts, souvenirs, and all this, so that they can show their friends, "Ki this is the place I have visited." Especially the pyramids of Egypt, they are very popular. Okay. So then money was used as an exchange, which helped in the making the travel easy. Food and services were also purchased in exchange of money. And there was a Persian empire. As Persian empire expanded over a large area, they improved the travel infrastructure. So once, whenever you travel, obviously you have to, the infrastructure has to be developed. So unless and until there's an social advancement, people won't be able to travel to different places, because traveling is not only about I mean, the mode of travel, whether it's vehicles or whatever, but it is, you also in the in between, you need food outlets. You have to have food, you need accommodation center, you need commercial centers and all. You have to have these commercial centers also. You could get to purchase all these souvenirs of that particular places. So that is how roads were designed. Carrier wagons with four wheel with cover over it were designed basically for comfortable travel. Thus traveling to a particular destination, how that the traveling was made comfortable, that was being introduced. Yes, then come the Greeks. Early empires, the maritime expertise of Greeks helped in developing tourism. Okay, now festivals were hosted to attract the travelers. Then there were the scholars, then there were the philosophers, physicians. They also, men of science, they visited Greece to learn and expand their skills. Now, Athens became a very famous destination, especially the hospitality facilities were provided, and there were also entertainment shows for the tourists, for the visitors. Not only that, even guide services were provided. That is also tourism product, because visitors coming from different places all over the country, they wanted to know about the importance of a particular destination. So that is how this tourist guide were there, who provided them with informations in exchange of money. Okay. And all the facilities were also being rendered to the visitors. Then there were the Romans also. The Romans also flourished in the hospitality sector, and there were Greek temples, sanctuaries. Then there were monuments. Then there were works of art. They became the sightseeing spots. People used to visit those sites, and this Roman. I mean, they used to buy tickets. I mean, that is how revenue was being collected, and they used to visit these places. So Roman visitors were much attracted to the seven wonders of the world. Then there were literary references also attracted certain educated travelers towards the Roman Empire. Then India, then come India. The wonder and wealth of India attracted Greek and the Greek scholars also. Then Buddhist also. Also, they established their tradition of the pilgrimage. Then in the monasteries, attracted the monk, the merchant. Then they were, yeah, I mean, usually the animals like the horses, the elephants, and the camels. They were used as a common mode of transport that time. Then there's a silk route. This is very important. You should, I mean, keep in, I mean, remember this. What is silk route? Like, silk route is basically, it's a vital link in the east-west movement of the people, which began in 2000 before Christ. So why was it known as Silk Route? Because basically this, it is a road which was mainly, I mean, it was a link basically, where it was mainly meant for exchanging, meeting to exchange silk, then muslin, a type of handloom only. Handicrafts, they used to exchange handlooms. Then fine glasses. Then you have tea, rice, then all different types of herbs, different types of spices, and exchange of ideas and production process were some of the main activities that were facilitated by Silk Route. That is the reason why Silk Route was basically meant for the business purpose, for the purpose of trade. Now, what happens? See, each region has some importance of its own. In winter, climatic, because climatic conditions has an impact on the growth of this herbs and spices. So some destinations had a very hot climate, so different spices were going there. Then another place, the climate was very cool, so they different spices were grown there. So this is how, basically this Silk Road, which were used by the tradesman, the business class people. So meeting and exchange of silk, muslin, and all spices for and herbs and all. And navigation, how the navigation was done? The navigation was done by stars in absence of course of stream or river. And slowly and steadily revenue was also collected from the travelers. The larger state provided more facilities, and also they, earn more income through the taxing the travelers. So new ideas, new techniques, they came into existence. And of course, tourism, I mean, there was a growth of tourism, there was an economic development, there was a social advancement. But with the fall of empires, setback to trade and commerce was visible, leading to less travel. When there was a fall of empires, obviously it led to less travel. Now, what is the complex character of tourism? Now, due to complexities of motivation, needs, satisfaction, tourism emerge as an amalgam of phenomena and practices rather than a single unique orientation. See, when we talk about tourism system, basically, the tourism system, it is a group of interrelated, interdependent, and interacted elements that together form a single structure. Okay, together they form a single structure. Now, interrelationships, everybody were depending on, they have to, for their sustenance, they have to move from one place to another. So they develop relationships, infrastructure developed. So there was interrelationships arises, I mean, from movement of people. And of course, this tourism gave rise to different activities, and which were like, different from the resident and the working population. So slowly they found that, as a one thing is also, tourism movements are not, they are always temporary, they are not permanent. So tourism movements are temporary, and usually they are short term, and the intention is returned back to the place of residence once the travel is being completed. So destinations are chosen for a particular attraction, which could be for the business purpose, which could be for a vacation or a pleasure related. Then they were the pilgrimage, they visited the different places of their, like the worship places. Okay, they moved to I mean, they visited different places of worship as per their religion concern. Then like in India we have different places, where people, like yesterday I showed you a video where people, the Sikhs, they visit the Golden Temple, Amritsar. And even in throughout India, we have lot of temples. Not only temples, we have mosques, we have monuments, we have even your like Buddhist, I mean, for whether it's Sikhs or whether it's Muslims, whether it's Hindus, for all, worship places are there. Okay, and those places, pilgrimage, basically those people who move for their, for the worshipping. So they are known as pilgrims, and these pilgrims, they added to our knowledge of geography, culture, and traditional beliefs of other societies in the world. So then Grand Tour, yesterday I have mentioned about this Grand Tour. What is Grand Tour is all about? Basically, it's a circuit of Western Europe undertaken by a wealthy social elite class of people for the purpose of, basically the main purpose is education, and then it was followed by culture and pleasure. Okay, and people of, it's not the common people who undertook this Grand Tour. Grand Tour was basically undertaken by people, elite class of people, rich people, okay, financially, who are very strong. So then what are the characteristics of Grand Tour? Like, career, education, culture, literary, health, then scientific, business, and economic, they were the main motivations. So often more than one reasons are found as the motivation. So usually the tours and length of stay at destinations depend upon the seasons, the availability of tourism resources, and it also provided a base, you can see a base for emergence of tourism industry. There were guidebooks, there were travel planners, travel organizers. So tourism became a very familiar affair, and soon people began to travel enormously. So now there was a transition to modern tourism. Okay. Now the main reason for transition to modern tourism is due to revolutionary changes in technology. Now we are in the age of modern tourism, so there is a change, revolutionary change in technology. The your purchasing power, that is also very important. Disposable income, then and there's income has there's a rise in incomes due to industrialization. Then comes the organized tours that are being conducted for the travelers by the travel agents or tour operators. So that is what is modern tourism. We even, if you work for different companies, even the companies, different organizations, they also are providing lot of to their employees the LTC, that is real travel concession. In a year or after 2 years, the employees, not all companies, government, I mean companies, which are owned by the government or the state government, plus there are some private companies where the employees are being given leave travel concession, where they can visit to different tourist destinations with their families, enjoy their holidays, and all the related, like travel fare or airfare, airfare or train fare, as well as the hotel accommodation, that is being paid by the company, which is known as leave travel concession. So plans, all these were made to develop many famous tourist destination in big ways. So there are organizations which we have in today's unit 3, like organizations like TAAI, that is Travel Agent Association of India, then IATO, Indian Association of Tour Operators. They also played a crucial role in promoting tourism in this aspect. Now there were state government, there were central governments. Not only that, you are now studying tourism. So that was how the tourism education, there were educational institutes were also open for were established educational institutes like Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management. Then we have IHM, Institute of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, where students learned about tourism, about travel, about like right from different types of accommodation, different types of cuisine. So they can provide all these facilities and services to the visitors as per the requirement. Okay, so that was, so it was set up, basically it was set up to train the tourism administrators. So there were major developments in the history of tourism. There was 14th to 16th centuries. People began to travel. Like why people began to travel? They began to travel in search of adventure and escapism. They wanted to monotonous. Sometimes they wanted to get a break from the monotonous life. That is the reason they traveled to various destinations. Then the trade routes also opened. There were import and export of various products also, export import items of various products. So that is how tourism developed throughout the world. Now, suppose these are very important, 18th to 19th century. This is important because industrial revolution gave rise to technological advances, making the travel and trade business more efficient, and also it expanded the markets. Like, in 1841, Thomas Cook, he was the tour operator, world's number one tour operators was. It organizes the first tour in England. Then there were also many package tours. Then there were other different travel agents which came into existence. So that is how. But Thomas Cook was the first one who organized the first group tour in England. Then in the 21st century, you might have seen all these OTAs, online travel agencies. Like, you have seen the Make My Trip, then Go Ibibo, the IRCTC, Indian Rail, and it is Indian Railways, and IRCTC, Indian Railways, and Tourism Corporation. Okay, so we have the IRCTC, we have Make My Trips, we have Go Ibibo. So there are so many travel agents. These are known as online travel agents. Then came the Trip Advisor. So Trip Advisor is the one who basically they does the reviews. Like how many what are the people visiting which destinations, I mean, which hotels are the best, location is the best. So basically they do all these reviews and all. So that is the Trip Advisor, was also founded in 2000. Then we had this Airbnb was launched, that was launched in 2007. What is Airbnb? Basically they were responsible for the bed and breakfast. Like, so they were Airbnb. You can book your hotels at any destination through this Airbnb. So that was launched in the year 2007. Because depending on the demand, because the tourism sector was rapidly growing in such a manner. There was demand for, not only for when you visit a place, there was demand for accommodation, there was demand for food, there were demand for different vehicles and all. Mode of transport was also an important. So beside that, there were other ancillary products which were in demand. So that is how the tourism industry, I mean, it led to the growth of tourism industry. However, again in 2020, the global corona halted tourism worldwide, especially because of lockdown. But yes, again it revived. Again, people are traveling, especially after when the during the lockdown. People were at their homes, and also they were not able to travel. So that is how virtual tours were organized. After that, once everything became normal, again people started traveling. So it has revived, and the tourism industry is booming again. Okay. That was all about your unit 3. So before I move to this, I wanted to show you a video about the history and evolution of tourism. That's just 4 to 5 minutes video, right?
People have traveled for pleasure, tourism has provided opportunities for work, for economic development, and for social advancement. From being for the pursuit of a few, in the 20th century, tourism became a possibility for the many. Its growth helped heal the scars of war and build peace between nations. The first International Congress of Tourist Organizations met at The Hague in 1927. In 1947, the Union moved from The Hague to Geneva, placing tourism at the heart of global diplomacy and reconstruction following World War II. Within a decade, this Congress evolved to become the International Union of Official Travel Organizations, laying the foundations for UNWTO. And as men walked on the moon, the rise of affordable tourism helped make Earth seem smaller and more accessible. During these years, the number of international tourist arrivals was growing rapidly, from 25 million in 1951 to 166 million just 20 years later. Spain led the way in supporting the sector's expansion, bringing jobs, opportunities, and economic growth. Many countries would follow this example. With growth comes diversity. In the 1950s, the top 5 global destinations welcomed 70% of all tourists. But in the 1970s, their market share went below 50%. More and more destinations were tapping into the social and economic benefits that only tourism can deliver. A once largely European phenomenon grew to include Asia and the Pacific, the Americas, the Middle East, and Africa. Tourism was fast becoming an important driver of growth and opportunity for countries at all development stages. Reflecting this growing relevance, tourism became integrated into the United Nations system. The UN declared 1967 the International Tourism Year, with the slogan, "Tourism, a passport to peace." In 1976, the World Tourism Organization was established in Madrid, in time to start leading a sector that promotes international solidarity as walls of division started coming down. Madrid has stayed strong to its work, advancing tourism to drive sustainable growth and peace across the globe. Spain remains a leading destination and strong ally of tourism for development. From making the largest single contribution in the UN's history with its support of the Millennial Development Goals, to recognizing tourism as an essential tool for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. UNWTO has also been able to count on the strongest support from the government of Spain and the Royal House, standing by tourism in both good times and bad. Reflecting tourism's worldwide relevance in 2003, the United Nations General Assembly welcomed the organization as a special agency in its own right. In 2004, the UNWTO name and branding were launched, a new look and a renewed determination. As tourism has evolved, UNWTO has united the sector and directed its growth. With the emergence of new media and platforms, UNWTO has ensured the digital transformation of tourism works for everyone. And when international arrivals passed the 1 billion mark in 2012, UNWTO was there to make sure the sector is seen as a central part of the conversation. Tourism's power to build a better future for people and planet was further emphasized with the UN International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development in 2017, a year which saw 1.3 billion international tourist travel, on track for a record 1.5 billion in 2019. As a sector that touches on virtually every part of society, tourism stepped up to face up to the climate challenge. The sector also became more inclusive, diverse, and fit for the 21st century. To reflect this, UNWTO itself became more agile, championing innovation, entrepreneurship, and investments. The Sustainable Development Goals provided the framework as UNWTO made sure tourism was firmly established in the UN agenda. Because of this, when the COVID pandemic hit in 2020, tourism was a central pillar of the UN response. Today, the sector enjoys unprecedented levels of political support and goodwill, alongside broad public recognition. Tourism is prepared to bounce back and lead recovery in 2021 and beyond. A year after the King of Spain was presented with the Madrid Declaration on Tourism in the 21st century, this pronouncement is more relevant than ever. Just as the Spanish crown has stood by tourism in the good times, so does it support the sector at this time of challenge. Such support is critical, showing a sector and a society united at every level and setting an example for other countries to follow. 2021 is the year tourism restarts for people, for planet, and for shared prosperity.
So that was a presentation. You could see how tourism developed. How it expanded in such a manner and opened so much opportunities, so many opportunities. But at the same time, we need to protect it. We need to safeguard it. Okay. So now moving to the next unit. 1 minute. Yes. So the next unit is unit 4, that is the tourism system. We Yes, that's about tourism system, the conceptual approach which would help to identify the dynamic elements of tourism. Now, talking about the dynamic elements of tourism, yes. So, what do you mean by the dynamic elements of, tourism? Different types of tourism. At least you have idea. What are the motivators? Why people travel? How the history of tourism. So, about talking about the dynamic elements of tourism, the first thing that comes to our mind is the perception, the of the tourist, because their preference has now, there are a lot of options open. So what happened? Changing consumer preferences. So what does it means? Like, as travelers are very becoming much aware, very sensitized about, very much conscious of their impact on the environment, as well as not only on the local environment, but also on the not only on the environment, but also on the local communities. So there is a demand. There's a growing demand for sustainable tourism and responsible tourism, where so they also wanted. It's not always that we need to visit. Suppose if you are going for a holidaying purpose, for business purpose, of course, you have to stay in a star category hotel, because there are a lot of other guests are coming to attend a meeting or conference or any seminar or workshops related to particular launching of products or any such. So in those type of events, the facilities have to be provided and all. But suppose if you are going for a holiday, so why not prefer to stay in a eco-tourist destination, or a hotel which very much respects sustainable tourism, which respects responsible tourism. So why not visit those type of destinations? So what happened when people, they are becoming more sensitizing, they are sensitized about the impacts of tourism on the environment, on the as well as the local community. So they thought, it shows that there is a demand of sustainable and responsible tourism experiences. So what happened? This has led to the rise of ecotourism, and also cultural tourism and community based tourism. Then comes the technological advancements. So what happened? Coming to the technological advancements, basically the use of digital technology, and especially the social media handle. Social media has they have revolutionized in such a manner. Now people began to plan and expertise. People began to plan and expertise. People began to plan. So you have a very customized way where everything is very possible, so that they can experience the travel in a very better way, in a very systematic manner. So online booking platforms are there, virtual tours are there, then travel apps are also being. So you have all these travel apps on your mobile and all, like if you have a Make My Trip and all these online travel agents, so you can make the booking, I mean, sitting on your office chair, you can just make your booking. So you have this travel apps which made it easier for travelers to specially to explore, to do some research. Then also they can share their thoughts, share get the reviews from others experiences, and accordingly they can make their travel plans and all. So that is, you can say, comes under technological advancements. Okay, these are all dynamic elements of tourism. Then comes the geographical events, geopolitical events. What do you mean by geopolitical events? Like, especially the political instability, then there are conflicts, then there are natural disasters, like your maybe you have heavy rainfall which led to degradation, especially during the I mean the hilly regions and all. You'll find all this deforestation, landslides, they take very much I mean, those occur very regularly. Then you have this these are all natural disasters, you cannot stop them. So this can have a very negative impact on tourism. So what happened, destinations, there were many destinations which were very popular at one point of time, but now they become less effective, they have become less popular. The reason behind them may be because not people are, I mean, due to safety concerns, that is. While other destinations, some emerging destinations may gain popularity as geopolitical situations changes. You won't now you thought, no, I should not visit. Now it also depends on the climatic conditions. Like during the rainy seasons, you won't be traveling to any hill stations, because during rainy seasons, the hill stations, most of the, you'll find landslides are taking places. So you'll avoid visiting. You will try to go in the month of during summer season or winter season. During especially the summer season, you'll feel the because if you stay in a plain area, you can go to the hill station to enjoy the climate of that particular destination. So, of course, you will avoid visiting during the rainy season. Now, that is under like geopolitical events. Now comes the economic trends. What are the economic trends? Like, yes, economic, when we talk about economic trends, like fluctuations in the global economy can affect travel patterns and also the spending habits. Let's take the example of COVID. So during COVID, people they didn't travel much. I mean, they did not travel. They didn't travel only. So they used to stay at home, to enjoy. They used to enjoy. I mean, they had virtual tours and all. They went through different websites, collected informations, explored various sites through Google, and they collected information. So once everything became normal again, people started visiting, and you could see, like, the thing is, then it was revived. So they have started taking the minimum precautions as and when required, and traveling also started, so tourism also flourished. Okay, during that COVID period, there was loss, but after, once it was stabilized, everything was in normal, then again tourism rapidly grew, increased. So these all economic trends are always there. So economic downtowns may lead to a decrease in travel, but their prosperity may result in increased spending on tourism. Okay, but it is not like that. People also spend so much time, going through these apps and learning about the informations, collecting informations, collected books and all, so that they can later on they can visit those areas. Not only that, they also book advance tickets, like maybe not in this year, but next year they'll be visiting those places. So that is all these economic trends are there, fluctuations in the, so you can say always, like, fluctuations in the global economy, they can affect your travel patterns. Then comes the Then comes the environmental factors. That is also very important. Now there are climatic changes as well as environmental degradation. As I've given you an example, especially in during the winter, during the rainy season, and especially in the hilly regions, you have those landslides. So those environmental degradation, they have raised awareness about the impact of tourism or natural resources and the ecosystems, because in that way the ecosystem is disturbed. So what happened, so this has led to a greater emphasis on sustainable tourism practices and use of eco-friendly products, like activities, promoting activities eco-friendly, then eco-friendly practices, they were more emphasized on those. Even hotels, and they have started implementing eco-friendly practices, using eco-friendly products for these amenities and all purposes. So that is, people are aware now, people are becoming aware, people are sensitized of this impacts, so they are making taking major precautions on particular impacts. Now comes the cultural exchange. Now, as people are moving from different states to from one state to another state, or from one country to another country, so they interact with people. So there, what you can say, there is an interaction through tourism. Why the word through tourism comes is because it's an interaction through the about the culture. You come to know about the culture. You need to learn about the art, about the craft of that particular place. Not only that, you come to know about the cuisine of that particular area. You taste that particular cuisine of that particular. So it is, the different culture, and that interaction takes place through the process of tourism. So there is an ample opportunity of cultural exchange as well as understanding. And what happens, this can lead to the preservation as well as promotion of cultural heritage, as well as the development of cultural tourism experiences. Now there is another, you we also do have infrastructural development. Infrastructure development, like there are you all this investment you do in transportations. There are bridges are being built, to make the travel more, earlier, from moving from one city to another city used to take 7 8 to 10 hours, but with the development of 4-lane roads transport, bridges, it has become very easier. Those are known as expressway. The bridges, you can easily, the earlier it was taking 6 hours for drive, now within 2 hours you can move from one place to another destination. So this networking has been developed. So this is possible through infrastructure development. And there are a lot of different types of accommodations are also being available. Tourist attractions, as you can say, they can significantly influence the growth of tourism in a particular destination. And obviously we all know that whenever there is an improved development of infrastructure, it would make a destination more accessible and of course attractive to travelers. That is only, it is not only about the fooding or only about the hotel accommodation, it is also about the transportation. Now we have this 4-lane roads. So earlier there was only one road, which was going, but now we have 4-lane roads. Those particular connecting from the particular capital city or to the destination, which was taking earlier 7 to 8 hours, now it's just taking 3 to 4 hours. So the road has become smooth, and you can travel very efficiently, smoothly. So that is how it comes. Then there are the finite issues that emerge with tourism systems. There are finite resources, like both time and money. They determine the opportunity, and there are a lot of opportunities available now. Now facilities are being provided. In that way, both the host and the guest, as tourism involves participation of both, and both are being benefited in, like the host as well as the guest. Then comes the pull and push factor. The success of any destination, that does not depend only on the richness of the tourism product, but also on the effectiveness of the tourism system, which determines the packaging and marketing of the products. Now you have supply and demand, of course, as a tourist, you need the freedom to travel, you need that information, proper information has to be provided to you. There should not be any constraints, there should be proper distribution channels, transport systems should be very proper, there should be proper safety and security also, because wherever, you might have seen, whenever you want to go to any destination as such, you always look out for the, you see the reviews and all. Why do you see the reviews? You see the reviews because you see, there's safety and security first, and those are the factors which helps you to select a destination. Like the factors are including the safety and security of the place, the mode of transport, the accessibility. So this is the demand of the tourist. Now the supply of that particular region. Now when we talk about the supply of that particular region, the carrying capacity. Now a flight can accommodate 300 passengers. That means it has 300 seats. Now it cannot take 310. I mean, 310 travelers cannot fly because it has seat only for 300 only. So similar, when there is destination which can accommodate 500 tourists, if 1,000 tourists reach there, then it would be really, I mean, everything will be, I mean, in a, I mean, disorganized way. Everything will happen in a very disorganized way. So there is a carrying capacity. So you have to ensure that no, we cannot exceed more than 300 tourists or 500 tourists. So that is the, we cannot accommodate 300 tourists or 500. So that's known as the carrying capacity of a particular area. Then the resources available, then the technology. You see, now what happens, sometimes you see the network issues. Why these network issues? Because too many people at a time are accessing that. So there are network issues are also happening. If you go to some places, there are no proper networks, not proper facilities. Then there is a question of labor, there's question of no proper workforce. That is why it happens, and you might have seen that, that is why people, our tourism industry is basically a skill based industry. So that is the reason why the workforce at especially the tourist destination, they should have the proper skills, they should be well aware of the proper informations. At the same time, they should also have the leadership skills, they should have informations, and how to make the customers happy, because once the customers are satisfied, obviously there will be repeat guests. So these, and at the same time, there are some policies, regulations, rules, guidelines that is being framed by the that is being framed by the destination management authority, those are known as DMOs, like destination management officers are there. So they, there are policy makers who think, no, I mean, slowly and steadily the area has to be improved, the destination has to be improved, because there are a lot of visitors visiting that place. So these is depends on supply and demand. These are two important factors of yield. Yield is basically what is your actual output. So these are the two important factors which define the yield of a particular place, you can say, would result in the yield of a particular place. Now come the pull and push factors. When talking about the pull, yes, uh, pull and push factors, the host and the guest, where the, where the host can be the government agencies, the employees of a particular different organizations like hotels or restaurants and so on. Then you have NGOs and other business organizations, and they're the special interest groups, they are the host. Then you have the guest, who basically you can say they are the intermediaries groups, individuals or receivers. See, basically, when we talk about the elements of tourism, the tourist is the actor in the system, okay. And tourism is very, you can say, very, a very, it's a type of human experience which is being enjoyed, which you can be anticipated and remembered by a group of people. So and when it is a travel generating region, so it is basically a generating market for the tourism sector, and it provides the push in the sense to stimulate and motivate travelers. Okay, and this is where the tourist searches for information, for for relaxation, for pleasure, and so on. So this all depends on the tourism. So whether like so tourism, so any success of any destination, the success of any destination, it not only depends on the tourism product, but the effectiveness of tourism system, which determines how you package the product, how you market the product. There are a lot of resources at a particular place, but you won't be able to visit the destination because it doesn't have the accommodation system over there. I mean, the ecosystem is not proper. It does not have any restaurants, it does not have any hotels, or so why will you go to that place? That also. So the thing is that you have to package the products and market the products in such a way that it attracts the tourists. At the same time, it also enhances the beauty of that particular destination. It keeps intact the beauty of the essence of the particular destination without spoiling or without having a negative impact on the environment and the natural environment and the flora and fauna of that particular region. So, there are some factors that shape demand for tourism, like, leisure time, then your work life patterns, life cycle change, then your type of behavior, then women in the workforce also. So, these are some factors that shape demand for tourism. Now, we have to encourage the full potential of these factors. Destination. So, what the destination should do? The destination should ensure, increase accessibility, like how to reach that particular place, promote the market exchange rate, control inflation. Then, when the businesses, you should have redesign your business strategies. When you see the business is not is not being attractive or unable to attract the customers, you have to redesign your business strategies. Then there are some visa controls also. So nowadays you could see that many countries, like, people, Indians visiting to those countries, they are visa is not required. So some visa controls are there, but yes, in some countries you need to visit, you should have a strict visa. So, you have to have technology to counter the climate, so ensure safe health conditions and control the pollution. Okay, so resolve political disputes to ensure stability so that the tourists feel secure. Then there are some these supply related problems. Then there are some seven typologies of as mentioned by Valen Smith. What are the typologies? These are the typologies include the explorer, that is few in number, looking for discovery and involvement. And there is the elite class of people who create their visits to exotic places. Then there's an offbeat, they wanted to get away from the crowd. So then the unusual seeker who seeks physical, who needs wanted to visit to a particular destination in isolation. Then there is a mass, this package tour markets desiring tourist enclaves. Okay, then charter mass travel to destinations which are very standardized facilities and all. You might have seen, people working for the, companies, they have to meet their targets. So once they meet their targets, they have been given some incentives. So what are the incentives? The incentives are in the form of holidaying to a beautiful destination. So in that, not single individual go, a group go. So obviously when a group visits that destination, so there is more booking of flight tickets, more room booking. So it would lead to the growth in the tourism. That would create, that would generate revenue for a particular destination. Then the typology as been stated by Eric Cohen. Then there are recreational. Why do you need recreational? Recreational is also being required to relieve the stress of work. Then diverse scenery. The tourism industry is diverse, so you wanted to escape from the boredom and routine. It's not that if you are interested to visit a now. You might have seen there are many destinations which are being which are being developed as wedding destinations. So they are being developed in such a manner, they are they have been created, the amenities, the setup and everything is made in such a way that it has been given, like I mean, gives you that feeling that this should be made for a wedding destination, please. So this is wedding destination. So this is what happens even if you wanted to go for your health medical tourism. So those facilities are there. If you just like you have to go, wanted to go to any destination for sports, you can adventure tourism. So all those facilities are there. Sometimes you wanted to look for authenticity, so you can be, it can be an experimental with alternative lifestyles, then existential, finding a new spiritual center as a result of a touristic experience. So these are the various typologies as being stated by Eric Cohen. Now, there are some problems also, like creating, as I told you, if a destination is unable to accommodate tourists. So they should also be aware of the carrying capacity of that particular area. So create mass tourism, that also is a problem for a particular area. And to have a then there are some decision making depends, like four motivational categories like physical, cultural, personal status, prestige. These are also being involved. Now, there is another model that has been stated by Matheson and World, which like you have a desire, you should have the information, you have the decision, then there are the preparations involved, like ticket bookings, money, clothing, and journey involved, your satisfaction level, and evaluation. You are being given the feedback, like before you, because whenever a tourist go to a particular destination, they have a lot of expectations. That is here, I mean, that is the perception, what is, they have a lot of expectations, but once they reach the destinations, they find it is different. Maybe it can be better than their expectations or lower than their expectations. So there are always this type of issues are always there. Okay, then of course there are some expectations falls into the different categories, like attractions of that particular area, the mode of transport, how you reach that destination, then what are the different types of accommodations being provided at a particular place, then what are the infrastructure, how the infrastructure is there, then whether the cost, that also is an important you can say I mean everybody also, because cost is a very important factor, because everybody, suppose if you go to a destination and it is very expensive, everybody cannot afford, because suppose especially if you go to any now many destinations, they have this amusement parks, and you won't believe, when you enter those amusement parks, you have to have pay for a tickets, which is quite expensive. Okay, fine enough, you are ready to pay for that ticket, but once you enter, that's the entry fee of that amusement park. But once you enter the amusement park, there are a lot of activities, now those, there are a lot of games, there are a lot of activities. It is not that all those games and activities are complimentary or free. Some are complimentary, but some games you have to again pay tickets, and you can avail those games or facilities. Then especially the food courts, which are located in the, which are there in the amusement park, those are very very expensive. Any food outlets which are functionable in any amusement parks are very expensive, so you have to take care of all those. Okay, so you have to ensure that safety and security is also there. Yes, safety and security so is there. Then what are the different types of support services, like there should be a first aid center should be there, information bureau should be there, there should be shops where even if you buy those like any crafts or handicrafts or all those things, those also becomes expensive and such. So you have to ensure that also. But people, when you go to go to those type of hill stations or deserts or any amusement parks, you feel like purchasing something, but those are expensive. So these are some thing, where I mean the government also should has a role to play, because uh, it should be marginalized. It should be, one should take into the cost effectiveness of a place also matters a lot. The tourist, because it has an impact of the tourists visiting that particular area. Security, stability, these are all very important. Then tourism, what are the tourism impacts? You have, like, mismanagement of tourism often creates impacts. Tourism leakages are increasing rapidly. What do you mean by tourism leakage? Basically, you as a tourist, that you spend some money, that is money that is being spent by a tourist on a particular given destination. So rather, the money that you spent on that destination, instead of that money staying in that particular destination, it leaks out to other economies. So flow of, you can say, in other words, it is basically flow of payment overseas from tourism expenditure. So this, what happened when the local community is not in that way, the local community doesn't earn that much revenue. It is a loss for that destination, it is a loss for the local community. So it should be properly, this tourism leakages should be controlled. Then there are cultural erosion has become normal at all major destinations. Then there are social impacts of tourism are closely interlinked, and third world countries are facing much problems, and stereotype images are created by travel agents which are disliked by local. So sometimes these travel agents, they tell you, they give you all flowery pictures, you visit and you'll get and all. So when you visit the destination, you don't find. Sometimes it also happens, the travel agents, they have this commission basis, with the all these handicraft shops. So you go to a destination, and suppose you are going to a travel agent, the travel agent will take you only to that particular handicraft shop, not to other handicraft, because they have a it depends on the commission. Because if the customers go to his particular showroom, then they should buy the product from that only. So in that case, and when any product is being purchased from a showroom, then obviously the price tag would increase. Instead of same thing you buy from the local community, it would be much cheaper. But the travel agent won't let you to buy from the localized. They would insist you to buy from the showroom, handicraft showroom, because they'll get some money, like commission. So this is what happens. These are all very negative impacts on the tourism. So tourism professionals and researchers so have to keep such implications in account while framing new tourism policies. So before this, before moving to unit 5, I have another small video for you. 2 minutes video. Okay, just a second.
Hi, ever wished you could finish a book in a matter of minutes and remember every
The structure of the travel.
So this video is on components of tourism. It's just a 2 minutes video. Okay. So whatever you are learning in the unit, it is all coming, just the summarize of that I'm showing on the video.
Travel and tourism industry is made up of several components of tourism. These components are all interrelated in one way or another. They make up the entire tourism system. There are 6 major components of tourism. Without these components, the travel and tourism industry would struggle to function. A tourist board is an essential component of tourism. A tourist board is responsible for the promotion of tourism in a particular area. This could be a city, a region, a country, or a group of countries. A tourist board is usually government funded and is usually a public travel and tourism organisation. Transport is another integral component of tourism. Without transport, people cannot reach their intended destination. There are a range of different transport types, the most common being air travel, travel by road, train travel, and travel by water. Accommodation services make up an important part of the structure of the tourism industry. Accommodation options include hotels, hostels, holiday parks and campsites, homestays, and a range of unique places to stay, such as a treehouse or a castle. Conferences and events are also an important part of the tourism industry. Conferences and events come in all shapes and sizes around the world, from a small academic gathering to a national sporting competition to a large-scale summit involving national leaders from around the world. Tourist attractions are another essential component of the tourism industry. There are a multitude of different tourist attractions around the world. Some are built, some are natural, some are paid, and some are free. Some are famous, others are not. Some are large, and some are small. Lastly, the tourism industry would not be complete without the many tourism services. Many people rely on tour operators to plan and put together their trips. They also rely on travel agents to sell holidays. There are a range of ancillary services that provide products and services such as insurance, car hire, or airport parking. When we add together these 6 components of tourism, we have the complete tourism system.
So that was a small video, all the components of tourism. Okay, so now we'll move to the next unit 5. Denmark, everything is visible, understood? You are able to understand?
Yes, sure. Yes, ma.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We are understanding all what you teach us.
So today, this is the unit 5. Unit 5 is about constituents of tourism industry and the tourism organization. We all know what is tourism industry, what is the tourism all about. Like in short way, I can see it's a socio-economic phenomena. Okay, and if you see the dictionary, it would say the activity of visiting places for pleasure, not only for pleasure, for business purpose, for medical tourism, everywhere. Okay, this is now there are some scholars who have mentioned that what is tourism about. It's about comprised of a broad range of business and organizations that are related to virtually all areas of economy. This is also where Kaiser and others advocated that there is no such thing as tourism industry, as basically it's known as a collection of several industries that function separately with various types of links with tourists. And these links can be both incidental as well as purposeful, direct or indirect. And according to Leeper, it's the business of providing goods and services to meet the distinctive needs of some identifiable collection of tourists. So what we know that tourism, like they provide the accommodation, the attraction management, the travel agents, the tour operators, the restaurants, the passenger transport enterprises, then manufacturers of handicrafts, handlooms, souvenirs that which are being designed for the visitors, and related outlets, agencies, retail outlets, they all come under the tourism industry. So it's a broad industry. Okay. So tourism is not only one single industry, we can say, but it's an amalgamation of many industries and the allied industries. So that can be aviation, like the air transport. You have transportation that includes rail transport as well as road transport. Then we have the water transport. We have the hospitality industry, that's the hotel industry. Then there are the travel consultants, there are the guides, attraction management. Then there are the theme parks, monuments, amusement parks. Then there's the communication system, how you communicate. See, I am communicating to you on a Google Meet platform. So there is a CRS, that is a centralized reservation system. Then there is the GDS, global distribution system. You are able to make any reservations to any hotel, any part of the world. There's a toll-free number, or you can go to the website, you can make your reservation, so that they work on the centralized reservation system. Similarly, if you want to make a hotel booking or if you want to make a flight booking, you have to global distribution system. Global distribution system, there are different, they work on different package, different, they have apps, you can say, like Galileo, then Amadeus. These are all examples of global distribution system packages. So you make the reservations, how it is possible. You can see whenever you wanted to book a flight ticket, you can see ki only 2 seats left or 5 seats left. So all those informations, they are working on a software. So that is known as a global distribution system. Now there are variety of software, as I gave you some example. There is Galileo, there is Amadeus, there is WorldSpan, there is Subray. These are all examples of global distribution system. Okay. Now there are also travel facilitators, escorts, etc. They come together to form the tourism sector. So that is, it's a global phenomenon. Okay. Now these are some constituents, that is the primary and secondary. We have the transport. The primary is the transport, that is very essential. We have the accommodation sector, we have the catering, food and entertainment, we have the intermediaries, and the government departments are there. Coming to the secondary, we have the shops and emporiums, we have the handicrafts and souvenirs, as I told you, all these retail outlets, then local taxi or transportations, then communication services, then advertisement agencies, then public industries. Then you have seen the artists, the performance, the musicians, they are local lights who are particular, depicting the art and culture of the particular area. So you have arts, performers, musicians of particular region. So those come under secondary, and these are the primary ones. Then you have, these are like constituents, as you can see, like accommodation, government departments, they are the primary constituents, and secondary are these all. Yes. Now United Nations, they study on the impact, on the economic impact of tourism in India, which reveals the following are segments having receipts from tourism employment, like hotels and restaurants. You have the railway transport services, then you have the shopping arcades, you have the food and beverage outlets, you have textiles, where like then different showrooms or handicraft shops, trades and other services, they all come under the economic impact. Whereas United Nations, they study on the economic impact of tourism in India, and they receive, and they reveal that following other segments, they are having receipts from tourism employment. But there are also other organizations, also various organizations, which play a very vital role in developing tourism. What do they do? What is their responsibility? Now these organizations help in formation of tourism policy, then planning, then promotion, then advertisement, the infrastructure development, the resort development, protecting the rights of tourists, negotiations. Suppose different websites are being developed. There are bloggers, there are writers, who only write, different tourism journals, tourism hospitality books and all. Then there are the bloggers, you'll see, who write, then there are the different channels where these are being, like, whether it's on social media handles like Insta, Facebook, and all those, you'll find all those informations. So that is a way of promoting, that is a way of advertisement, to promote a particular destination. Not only destination, there are various tourism products. Suppose if you wanted to buy something of a particular region, some artifacts of a particular region, so you can go to the website, and you can get all those handicrafts and websites, and you get those types of handicrafts that can be from any part of the world. Secondly, if you want to test a cuisine, maybe some sweet dishes, so you can go and find where are the sweet dishes were available, where can you find. Now everything is available on, you have all these Amazon, Flipkart, you can purchase also, and you have to promote that particular. So that is why, to develop tourism, various organizations, they also have a very important part in this developing tourism. Now these organizations, what we are now going to discuss about, now these organizations exist in global level, national level, state level, and local levels. So who are they? Now we are now different segments of the industry also have their own organization. Now you have UNWTA, United Nations World Tourism Organization. Basically, when we talk about UN, WTO, it is you can say it is an agency which is responsible for the promotion of responsible tourism, sustainable tourism, and universally accessible tourism. Okay, now these are some of, like, they ensure that, they develop a global program, like different, we also, they have developed the 17 sustainable development goals that is being developed by the United Nations World Tourism Organization. They develop global program like cleaning beaches for tourism, then providing different types of facilitation and marketing, promotion of tourism products, tourism services. They are also involved in various publications like, journals, books, magazines, where you'll get all the informations. Then there's the IATA, which stands for, these are international organizations. I mean, they play a vital role for developing tourism. So, like the International Air Transport Association. So, what they do have, they have a large network of industry supplies, allows airlines to operate safely, intermediary between airlines and passengers, simplifies the air travel. If you make a booking through international air transport, they ensure that they facilitate all this functions, everything smooth, where the passengers can experience a safe and simplified air travel. Okay, some of their functions include, like, making a planning of timetables of international flights, then standardization is also involved, then what is the food to be supplied, then the flight, you might have seen during this period to this period, different discounts are being offered. So, these are basically why these offers are being floated. These offers, if you travel from December, now you'll find December to March, you'll get 20% flight discount if you fly on this airlines on this particular destinations. Now, these are basically to attract the customers. Whenever, the we as human being, we always have a tendency ki whenever some discount is offered, is being offered, we try to get attracted towards those. So these rates and all are being designed, packaged by this Air Transport Association. Okay, so basically they have to maintain the standards also, that is also, and to foster air travel, and you have to study the problems, identify the problems, provide the benefits to the travelers, while they were on transport. Then comes the UFTA. What is UFTA? UFTA is basically the United Federation of Travel Agents Association, and it also, the aim is to represent the travel agency industry and traveling agents in different forums and negotiates on their behalf. See, we you have seen, nowadays a lot of conferences are there, a lot of seminars, workshops are there. So you'll find, you'll have a travel agent fair exhibition going on in some cities. In our country, we have this exhibitions phase where this travel agent participates, especially suppose if the students, we have this, suppose educational fair, also education fair where, students want to study abroad, so all these agencies are there, who would facilitate the students to provide them opportunities to study abroad. So different universities where you can do your bachelor's degree in these universities, where you can do your master's degree in this university, where you can do your doctoral fellowship in this universities. So there are a lot of universities, they have their all outlets, and, selling to different, like that is their product, selling to the students. At the same venue, you'll also find different airlines also. Why these airlines are there? So that when you go to study at Germany at a university, when you go to study, do some research at a university in Italy, so you can get this, you can travel by this airlines. And when you are a student, you get all this facility, so they will try to attract you. If your student visa will, we will provide all this. Usually the this agencies, educational agencies, they provide all this visas, passports and all they prepare. But at the same time, these travel agents are there, they tell, you come and fly with us, we'll give you this much discount, we'll give you this much discount on this period of time. So these all trades and fairs and exhibitions where it are being taken place, you'll find this travel agencies, all these travel international organizations are, they have their own, they do their setup so that they can attract the tourists, they can attract the customers. And this also has, helps in developing the tourism. Like through tourism, people takes the that is, I told tourism, like it is not, tourism is a small word, but it has a large meaning, because through tourism we get to know so many facilities are there, and we are able, lot of opportunities or benefits are there, and through tourism we access that facilities. Okay. And there are other organizations also concerned, like IFTO, which means International Federation of Tour Operators. They represents National Tour Operators Association. Now you have to become a member of all these IFTO. For example, just take the example of IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University. They have their head office in Delhi, but there are all regional offices located in different capital cities. Then even in town, there are in cities, they are located in cities, they are located in towns, they are located in villages in India, and the offices are also located abroad also. So so you have to, this is how, channelization is being done. So when you are a travel agent, when you have some hotels or any pubs or your restaurants, whatever, or a travel agent, you can become a member of all these operators, like tour operators. So once you become a member of tour operators, you get to know your accessibility to the crowd, in the sense the visitors, the guests, the travelers, the tourists. That accessibility broadens. If you become a member of all these travel agents and all tour operators and all, you get lot of business. Only running individually a business is very difficult, but once you become a member of this, then you get accessibility of many facilities. You get access in the sense, they have this road shows which are being organized in different cities. Not only cities, going a little bit further, they are being organized in different different countries of the world. So usually we have the Berlin show, like where the tourism of India tourism, they participate in the Berlin road show. European, so that all the European countries, they can, they know about what they do. They try to how to attract customers, so that they can, how to attract tourists so that they can visit our country India. We have lot of destinations, so they have this the shows, trade fairs, or you can road shows, which are known as. And if you are a member of this road shows, then you can participate in those shows at a very reasonable rate. Not only at a very reasonable price, but you are aware of all the informations. So, and if you can catch hold of the tourist with your price, with your facilities, with your decor, with your amenities and all, then it's good for you. So it is very necessary that travel agents, they should become member of all these associations. Okay. Then you have the IYHF, that is the International Youth Hostel Federation. Represent National Youth Hostel Federation, as I told you, like YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association, especially the youngsters, young men, they can pay a minimum fee, yearly fees, and they can become members. So once you become member of those YMCA, then you can visit those places, and you can stay in those places which has YMCA hostel. And YMCA hostel is very reasonable rate, because especially when you go as a with your friends, the main is not aim is not to stay at the hotel. Your main aim is to visit the local destination. So hardly you sleep for the night. Okay. Whole day long you spent in uh, exploring the particular area, exploring maybe exploring the cuisine and all such areas. So once you become a member of this YMCA Young Men's Christian Association, you can get this. There are a lot of facilities and benefits associated. You can get all those. Okay. Then IHA, that is International Hotel Association, represent the hotel and restaurant industry. Then IATM, that is the International Association of Tour Managers. Then PATA, that is the Pacific Asia Travel Association. Basically, PATA acts as a catalyst for the responsible development of travel as well as tourism to, fro, and within the Asia Pacific region. Okay. So then those are these are the different government organizations in India which are responsible for broadening the tourism sector. Like, there's a central government as well as the state government. The central government, usually the head offices are located in capital city, and the state governments, the usually the you can say the state government head offices are located in the capital city of the particular state. So what type of jobs they are involved in? They are responsible for the policy planning, that is tourism policy planning, then collection of tourism related data, as I told you, how many tourists are visiting India, from which countries, which part of the world, what is their age group, demographic profile, then also attend inquiries related to tourism, then publicize India as a destination. Yes, I told you why all these road shows are being held in different organizations, so that they can picturize, they can publicize India on the global map. Okay. So we have so many destinations. India is proud to have one of the seven wonders of the world. Not only that, it has monuments, it has wildlife sanctuaries, it has beaches, it has deserts, you name them, and it is there. And not only about the culture but about the cuisine also. So that is how you have to publicize, how you have to you have to advertise, how you have to promote your place. So they are responsible for doing all this especially activities. Okay. And regulate the different segments of tourism industry, like segments like medical tourism or adventures tourism, sports tourism. Then you have cultural tourism, so they have to do the segmentization, so that also they regulate the different segments of tourism industry. Now suppose if you wanted to study, there are universities where foreign students are studying. In my university there are students from different 18 students who are from different 18 countries of the world. They are studying here. They are studying, some of them are studying engineering, medical, management, then hotel management. So how do they know? So you have to, these all have taken place only when you attend different types of trade fairs. Or we have a director who is known as the outreach program director of the outreach program. So what does outreach means? Outreach means, we have to publicize our country, whether it's in the field of education or medicine or culture or management, any respect, like whether it's in there are different fields and areas we have to publicize into different cultures. So when the people from different countries, they came to know about that, so they are studying here, they are coming and studying here. Recently, not even 15 days, just a week before, there's a we have a center open, that is, there will be three languages will be learned, like one is the Arabic, another is I think Chinese, yes, and the third is your I think that's from African language one. Okay. So because we have lot of African students from Nigeria and all, as I was telling you, from Uganda, so many students, so they thought it is very necessary because so many students. So once you have, not only that, we also ensure we have different types of events, programs, in a university taking places, cultural events. So what happened, we select those students, not students of our country, we select the students of different countries, And what happened, they perform the dance, the some drama of their country, and that is how we come to know. So you see, because that is very easily, because we cannot go to different country and see their programs, but since the students from different countries, they are residing in our university, and they perform different acts or these cultural programs, they participate, so we get to know about their culture also. So that is, the central government, state governments are taking a very robust, they ensure that everyone is being benefited, us as others also. Okay, so there are a lot of policy formation. Of course, there are some promotional activities. As I told you, there are promotional activities. They enjoy our culture, we also enjoy their culture. That is what happens. And when you see those type of activities and all, you really feel so much thrilled, joy, happiness, pleasure, so that what happens. So you have to have this promotional activities. Then how to develop a destination, that is also very important. Then providing guiding services, conducting sightseeing tours, and all this, providing lodging, fooding, and so on. So there are some Indian Association of Tour Operators. Then there is, you can go to the website, you can find. So main objective is to promote international understanding and goodwill to the ultimate advantage. So you have to encourage and promote friendly feeling among all the tour operators. Then we have this TAA, that is Travel Agent Association of India. How to develop tourism business through improving travel agency business. Then promoting different, there are many destinations which are really very beautiful, but they are not being promoted. Why? Because people are not aware of those. So once they go, they'll, it's such a beautiful, but we haven't read it about anywhere. So what happened? These are the tourist, this tour operators. They should promote these destinations through their websites and all. Okay. Then this FHRI, that is Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India. If you're a hotel, if you're a hotelier, if you own a restaurant, then you can become a member of FHRI. You have to pay a nominal fee. So every year, and once you pay, you will be given a card. Okay, and with that card, you visit any hotel in the country. Then you will get 30% discount on food as well as beverages, not alcoholic beverages, it is non-alcoholic beverages. I mean, not alcoholic beverages, it's non-alcoholic beverages. Okay, so you are entitled to get 30% discount on room as well as also non-alcoholic beverages. So this is what happens when you become membership. You have to pay a nominal fees. Not only that, they every year they organize a conference in, and these conferences are being organized at different locations of the country, where all the FHRI members, they come and participate in these conferences, and they come to know, they interact about people, they come to know what are the benefits, what are the how to promote the particular region of their state. So this is what FHRI does. Okay, so it creates a national fraternity is being created, and these all are being coordinated with the Ministry of Tourism for securing suitable incentives for the industry. So you have to promote and market hospitality industry of India. That is their objective. So just I wanted we have this Ministry of Tourism. This is under Government of India. Even IGNO is under Government of India, OK University. And they, if you can, this is the India Tourism Office. You can just, I can send you the PPT, but you can just you can write it down or take a photo of this. You can visit the website of this tourism.gov.in. Okay, then you will find all the informations, the destinations, like visiting different places, when to visit, what is the statistical, you will have all the statistical report, maximum tourists coming from which region, and which state in a country has the maximum tourists, foreigners or domestic tourists, international tourists or domestic tourists, plus different destinations, different cuisines, different arts, crafts, all the events, promotional activities. So if you visit the website, you'll get all the informations. So that was the last slide of today's class. And what I do, I'll just send you, I'll show you one more video, right? Um, Yes,
World Tour
World Tourism Day is being every day. I mean, 27th September is the World Tourism Day, and every year it is being celebrated through different programs, and also, and every it has a theme for every year. This year it was a green tourism. I'll just show a small video which is on 2 minutes, and it is about the World Tourism Day and what is the role of UNWTO, that is United Nations World Tourism Organization. So, okay, one second.
World Tourism Day.
World Tourism Day has been held on the 27th of September each year since 1980. The date marks the anniversary of the adoption of the statutes of the World Tourism Organization in 1970, paving the way for the establishment of UNWTO 5 years later. It was at its third session, Torremolinos, Spain, September 1979, that the World Tourism Organization General Assembly decided to institute World Tourism Day, commencing in the year 1980. The timing of World Tourism Day is particularly appropriate in that it comes at the end of the high season in the Northern Hemisphere and the beginning of the season in the Southern Hemisphere. The World Tourism Organization is a leading UN international agency in the field of tourism. Its mission is to promote tourism as a driver of economic growth, inclusive development and environmental sustainability, and offers leadership and support to the sector in advancing knowledge and tourism policies worldwide.
Tourism is one of the world's most important economic sectors. It employs 1 in every 10 people on Earth and provides livelihoods to hundreds of millions more. Tourism in rural areas can particularly benefit traditionally disadvantaged groups such as women, youth, and indigenous people.
International days and weeks are occasions to educate the public on issues of concern, to mobilize political will and resources to address global problems, and to celebrate and reinforce achievements of humanity. The existence of international days predates the establishment of the United Nations, but the UN has embraced them as a powerful advocacy tool.
So that was a video about this, about World Tourism Day, and also the role of United Nations, the UNWTO World Tourism Organization, in a very short way. So I hope, one second, 1 minute. So yes, now the session is open to you. If you have any questions, any, you can ask me in between. Also, you can ask me questions. No such. Yes, Acha. Yes, for knowledge. Okay. Um, you want? Yesterday, I provided my WhatsApp number. One.
But there was some number that give you us yesterday. It's not
Uh,
a.
I'm just wait. It's not. Yes. How come? You have to see. You before that you have to enter India's +91.
Okay, +91.
+91. Then 94381.
Let me check it again.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll 1 second. I'll just message you. Okay. Kedaki Babu. No.
Hey,
No.
good
Yes.
afternoon, ma.
Yes. Denmark. Tell
Yes,
me.
yes, Denmark. Tell me.
Yes. Yesterday, the issue of the student portal. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes. I don't know how we are supposed to be navigating in the student dashboard, portal. There are some resources we are supposed to find there. Maybe maybe in some coming weeks, maybe we'll be having some assignment to submit. I don't know. Maybe other things. I don't know how to go all about this. Could you like
Okay.
give maybe the overview of it?
Yes. See, uh, I mean, I understood your query. What happened? I'll like the you are telling the dashboard is not properly being, it doesn't have the like about your queries. I mean, your assignments or the you have got your study materials, right? You have the units, right? Is there on the
Yes.
Acha. Okay, so those assignments will be uploaded on the dashboard. But still, then, as you have inquired, I'll try to put the question to the regional office. Okay, right? And
Okay.
All right.
you take my number.
Okay.
It's see plus 91 that is India's code. Okay, plus 91 that
Well,
is India's code. Then nine
yes.
four nine four
9,
three eight
yes.
one three
3, 8,
double four
3, double 4,
30.
3.
So you can form a group. So any information you require, you can just mention. I'll put it across, like as you have mentioned, the dashboards about the assignments and all. I'll inform the regional center. Like there is a different.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, different departments are there who are taking care of all this. So I'll inform them.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate your lecture.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you so much. And any queries do you have? Any other queries?
No, not from my side. The presentation was so nice. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. And one more thing, like I can, like instead of sending the presentation every day, I can send all of you when the. Do you want to send you the presentation every day, or after the course gets over, then I'll send? Now you suggest. It's all up to you. Whatever you tell me, I'll do accordingly. I.
I think what I can suggest my is this. Maybe you can send us all so that we can go through some of them. Even if it is not like time for you to present, we can even group go through by ourselves, like self-directed learning. We try to cross-check. Then when you are coming for presentation, it will be very easy for us, like to
Okay, so
understand.
you want me to send in advance,
Yes.
right? Okay. So
Yes.
today I'll send you today's and tomorrow's,
Okay.
and
Thank
you
you.
can accordingly share among your group. Okay,
All
because I
right.
have
Thank
your
you.
email ID.
Okay.
Not email ID. I
Thank
think
you.
yes, I have your email ID. I'll share it there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Take care. Have a good day. Right.
Okay. Thank you. Same to you, man.
Thank you, Zamzami, Denmark, Gerald. Gerald has raised a question. Do you have any question? Gerald, do you have a question?
Now we have any question. We are understanding very well.
Okay. Okay. Take care. Okay. Bye.